Hey there, Charlie here. This video is actually going to be a little bit interactive, so if you would like to write things down, that's always really kind of fun. A little bit scientific for your own purposes. If you like the term consciousness explorer and you would like to do something in the name of rainbow love science. I am trying to make it a thing. It's technically just a thing on Substack. Not many people read my work. That's cool. But if you are interested in just the inner workings of a person who writes from a lot of different voices, I have a lot of Substacks. I'm at Charlie Morrow on Substack. But what I'm doing today, okay, some of you didn't pause the video, you're just grabbing stuff, that's fine. Definitely do that. Get water too. Anytime you're watching any kind of content where there's something coming through from someone who's a channeler, drink water, because you're kind of riding channel side with them. You're like in their sidecar, sort of, a little bit, energetically speaking. Water's your friend. Water will help you. Yeah, this is really just another junk drawer video. Thank you, Mabel, of things where I'm going to just flash a few tarot cards for you from the only deck that I have ever actually felt was like for me. And I think that that's actually an important thing to know if you're the kind of person who is consistently excited by tarot decks and oracle decks and you buy a bunch of them and you're like, ooh, yay. Like I personally do have 4 tarot decks, I guess, at this point. Sure. Okay, 4 tarot decks and an oracle deck. Just the one. Yeah. Except for the one that I made. And I'm going to show you that second after this. But this tarot deck is from the Cuddle Cult. They do Bob's Burger stuff. And the Burger of the Day is the Future That Can't Be Tarot Bull card deck. Comes with 78 tarot cards. And I say that this is my tarot deck because before this, I really did struggle with the iconography of cards and like the feel into it. And then the sort of memorize the thing and whatever. And now I still don't read, I don't read tarot the way that tarot is supposed to be read, but tarot as a psychological tool, tarot as a, okay, here's what I'm thinking and here's what I'm sort of imagining and predicting. For you at home, I want you to imagine in your mind, picture wherever it is with whatever senses you've got going on, either draw it or write it or something, what card you think I'm about to pull out from the Bob's Burgers Tarot deck. If you do not know the Bob's Burgers Tarot deck, great. The reason why it speaks to me, and I'm gonna just talk while some of y'all either draw or pick, but seriously, you're gonna pick whichever card comes next. Because I haven't shown you one yet, right? Whatever it is you want to write down. You know tarot. Come on, you know tarot. What card comes to mind, put it down. And if more than one card comes to mind, put it down. Because I'm actually, I'm staring at a deer walking by me right now as the number 7 came into my brain. And so I'm gonna do 7 cards. Okay, so 1 through 7, write it down. 1 through 7 tarot cards. This is part of the interaction. It's part of the interactivity of things. Because you're testing with yourself, what are your precognition skills, or what are your manifestation skills, or what are your I can interpret that too skills? Particularly if you're like me and you're also a person who maybe has tarot cards, but if you were tasked with sitting down and doing a tarot reading for someone, you would have a little book with you and you'd be like, oh, hold on, I just need, hold on. I remember what reversal is and we all know what tower is, but like, if you're that person, you're in good company. And some of us can do some really impressive things. Like I go on morning walks and I talk to Gaia. She's who I workshop things like this with her because she's like happy about it. Like, she's like a mom, like seriously, like talk to Gaia. She literally is happy to talk to you about anything. And it's easier to do when you're outside. And how do you know you're talking to Gaia? Is there a really loving presence that's like trying to uplift you when you're trying to tear yourself down while you're outside amongst the trees? That one's probably the Gaia voice inside of you. You have it. It's there. You just might not be listening to it. Okay. Has everyone written down their 7? Because the deer are now gone. There were 2 of them, if that matters for someone to know. And the whole reason why I'm doing this is just because it's just content. Trying to do something kind of different and fun. While I'm feeling into an audience, which is new for me. I've not felt into an audience through a camera, but so much. That's why I've started this kind of journey with a series called Hey Kathy, where I'm talking to my mother-in-law. I put it behind a paywall on Patreon because it's personal stuff, but I don't know. I think it's fun. And it's curated content for her. So she's almost getting like whatever hour-long just litany of, hey, Kathy, here's my heart-centered content. You know, I don't think she gets heart-centered content most of the time on her screens. So yeah, maybe people won't follow what I do, but hopefully the right couple people will see it and be like, wait, I can rebuild relationships with former family members that I let go of because of political strife by just doing it asynchronously, where I just tell them things from the perspective of they love me and I can be honest with them about my life, and then I put it somewhere that's more secure that the entire internet can't see, but then they still see it. And yeah, that's what I'm experimenting with too. Can I build good relationships with people that I have not had good relationships with in the past based on my own shit, right? To facilitate an easier transition back to our hometown whenever we can afford to get there, basically. So here comes your spread. We're going to see how you did. And it doesn't really matter what you wrote versus what comes out. What I want you to pay attention to is what comes out now. If you were right, like whatever thoughts, whatever you feel like writing down, whatever you feel like saying, if you've decided that you don't want to write things down, but you'd rather react to this on camera, you want to hit your camera and just go boop and just see how you react to what's coming out. I'll pause for like pause the video. Like, don't make me pause. You pause the video. Okay, thank you. And then they'll come back when they're ready, right? Because why not? Let's turn parasocial things that we put online into interactive toys for each other. Sort of. That's what I'm trying to do. Anyway, first card is, well, it's King of Pentacles reversed. So write down King of Pentacles reversed, or just like react to King of Pentacles reversed. And I know, it's Teddy. Isn't that amazing? And what am I getting from this? We're just adding to the heartbeat of this narrative. Okay. So this is how I read tarot. A little bit of light language, a little bit of stuff kind of coming out, but you at home, you're the ones deciding what this means. Because I can feel you watching it on my, what's today? Oh, September 11th, 9/11. Makes sense. Are we good? Okay, you guys got everything written down? I love the Bob's Burgers too, because my language, I speak in screens. I just do. I speak in internet, I speak in screens, I speak in fandom, in fan culture, pop culture. If it's at a comic book convention, comic book conventions. Comic book conventions are like a happy place for me, and I struggle with being around people because of so many central nervous systems in one place. But when there are a bunch of nerdy central nervous systems all tuned into, oh, look how fun. It's nice. We all kind of, nerds kind of get into kid mode whenever we go to conventions. And if you don't believe me, God, just watch things from Dragon Con. The level of adult cosplay capacity, I haven't been to conventions in a few years. We've been too sick, we've been too poor, there's been a lot of stuff happening. And it's like, while we've been gone from conventions, everybody got good at making cosplay in like the most absolutely epic kind of ways. And I'm here for it. Another reversal. You okay? You okay? I can turn the deck around. See if that'll change anything. But another reversal. This time the Six of Cups. And it's Linda with her cup. Oh. What does this mean for me? You get high too much. Fair. Totally fair criticism. Okay. So this makes sense. I'm doing sort of a body-based one. So these are coming through for me. And they're coming through for you. So how are you doing with your predictions of things? Were you right for those two? Were you wrong? Ooh, that one just jumped out. So I'm going to do a jumper card now. Did you predict there'd be a jumper card? Hey, we're not reversaled anymore. And we're the Seven of Swords. I mean, like, what comes through for Seven of Swords? See, it comes through for me as like a little narrative. I see a person like walking down some stairs on like a beach cliff. Why? More later. Okay. So clearly me doing tarot is me pulling Akashic record stuff by proxy. My question is, am I doing it for myself? Okay, I'm not doing it for myself. I'm doing it for a viewer. Huh. A viewer. One at start. Sometimes pulls the record out. Oh. So whoever like starts writing something first or does a thing first is whose Akashic record comes out? Accurate. Okay. So this is the next card. The world. And yeah, you know, we can all just say boo, right? Like, that's what he's supposed to be. So it's, yeah, boo. But also, like, the world. It's interesting, though. The world comes out, and I get, like, because of just, you know, voice actor and also just, like, Bob's hatred. Like, to me, it's just funny. Like, I have a different interpretation of the world card based on the art from here. And so to me, in this particular moment of pulling tarot, what comes out for me is a somatically, like I can describe it as a in my stomach area that could best be summed up as the feeling you get when you've been really like violently, vomitingly ill for a while and you're pretty sure that you're keeping the water down, but you're not so sure. Like that's that's what comes out for me right now when this card came out. Why? Not for me to explain, for you to. I don't know who this was for and where that whole situation was for, but I hope you're feeling better. It feels like maybe somebody that's watching this has recently been experiencing some food poisoning situations. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh man, let me tell you, my worst food poisoning, 3-day long epic adventure after a Five Guys. Just went to Five Guys and never been that violently ill before. Oh, I generally like leave things alone, and I don't leave many like comments to things, and I just leave things alone. I sent a thing actually to the store because I was just like telling the store, I'm like, look, I don't know what y'all are doing, but you need to inspect what's going on at your store. There's something not right. I've been violently ill, and the only thing that I can tie it to is this. Can I prove it? No, I can't. But anyway. Oh. Speaking of burgers, because I mean we're in Bob's Burgers Road, but the Three of Swords is your 5th card. Lots of sword energy, and then the sword energy plus like the illness. I'm not predicting my own future, am I? No. Providing curious experiments for those who are also not sure what comes next for them. Okay, cool. 5th card. All right, we're gonna go to the 6th card. I'm being asked to just hold for just a second. So when I'm doing an Akashic record reading, I'm just gonna let my arm shimmy because when there's when I'm tuned in, right, I'm basically an antenna of a person. I've got, I call it a human jukebox mode, where I have an internal, there's an internal level of channeling that I can do in music form. And I can literally sing out a very specific message. I'm not doing that right now. This is an interactive video, and now you're just kind of watching me do hand movements that are coming through. But the reason for that is because I'm doing an active transmission. I'm actively in this state of Gaia-fed information because it's Gaia and it's Charlie and it's whatever else wants to join in from my own guides who were my former internal family members when I had dissociative identity disorder. Had to die, unfortunately. And when that happened, they all did too, because that's what integration is actually. Death of internal people. I mean, what does it mean to be a person? It means you share body and mind in a lived experience. was a collective being. Anybody who has DID is a collective being. Just like Yeshua. He was a collective being. Not with a DID capacity, though. And also, if you channel a lot, you kind of turn yourself into a collective being a little bit. Like, I now operate as a collective being because my hands are autonomous right now. When I'm in channel mode, when I'm tuned in, and it is a thing I turn off and on. Okay, we're taking a little bit more time. And for those of you who are like, just get to the tarot. Y'all, don't ask me to do your tarot. How many tarot decks you have at home? Be real. Be serious. Get your own tarot decks out if you're bored. You don't have to keep going with this video either. That's the beauty of YouTube. You can just be like, bye. And preferably, just go. Just leave. You know? You don't like a video? Good. Means it's not for you. Not anymore. Might have been for you at the start, but maybe you hit something and you're like, oh, that's my exit. You know? We're all going through a lot of transitions right now. Nothing wrong with using your screen time, which, let's be honest, is probably more than you need to be doing, but is also what you're doing with your time. You're choosing to be here, you're choosing to watch a video, you're choosing to this, that, and the other, you're choosing to say, hey, Mabel, hi, come here. Yeah. It's nice to just be a little jumbled in an intentional way sometimes and let whatever needs to come out of you come out. Because I'm in the process of letting something in and out that bypasses my conscious awareness, because all I've got going on is sort of an internal like dancing thing. Like, you know how kids just sometimes start dancing and you're like, why are you dancing? There's no music playing. And they might sing it out loud, or they might just be like, no, it's fine, I'm listening to my internals. It's because kids let their bodies channel first. Adults, especially when we start like learning about all this stuff, we're like, no, mental, go as mental as you can. Absolutely. You can only do tarot if the only thing that you know about tarot is everything about tarot. Must have PhD in tarot before you can do tarot. No, no, shut up. And honestly, if you're a person who struggles with tarot, personal recommendation is Jeanette Biro. She has a course that is basically a mini mystery school. It's like $40 some. You're learning tarot from somebody who is like in full open-hearted, like mom love, friend love, sister love. Like, it just comes through as a teacher who's like, no, I really want you to like feel confident in this. It's a good one. And I still don't know what anything is. I'm sorry, Jeanette. I promise. I'm sorry. I'm not high right now. I know I do videos while I'm high, ruining my reputation for anything. I know. That's fine. It's who I am, man. I research, and sometimes I research with plant medicine, and sometimes I record it because I get fun. I think I'm fun. Here's your next card. The Nine of Wands and Tammy. And it's not even just like Tammy. Why do I have to say it like that? Tammy. Who am I providing this for? One who has a poem that would like to come out now. Go ahead. I'm just going to keep chit-chatting. Tune me out and start writing your poem. For real, if you're not practicing your channeling while you're watching other YouTubers who are like giving spiritual content, it's kind of fun because you can pause it, let whatever needs to come out of your hand or whatever needs to come out of your voice. Like if like have your phone there and be like, okay, and now I'm inspired. It's actually a really effective bridge. You can bridge off of someone else's Akashic record container, create your own, and then you can go right on back if you want to, because it'll help sort of ease some things out of you. But it can allow for some of that energetic like shakeups that comes out, because you're taking in content from a channeler. It's shaking things out of you, pulling things up into the light, because your attention is on where their attention is on, and my attention is on my Akashic records plus Gaia. So, you know, I get little animals that come across my window in the back now. I get distracted by things. It's where your attention gets pulled, right? Your attention is what is helping to create the continuation of what comes next. How do I interpret it? What am I paying attention to? How am I paying attention to it? And it's just funny to me that Tammy's our 6th card because of the things that Tammy pays attention to. All of them very mental, right? All of them very mental. All right, last card. I'm being asked to shuffle. Okay, shuffle, shuffle. And I'm, you know, like, who is asking me to shuffle? It was my body asking me as sort of a collective request. Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. Take this card. Okay. So much reversal. So this is Temperance. And isn't this amazing, Tina? But reverse Temperance. Okay. So when I channel, I can feel myself kind of becoming an antenna. And I can feel that because my body really is in ley line based segmentations. I already explained this before, but I don't know who's watching what, right? And things are just coming out in channeled form. So there they are. But what I want to know is, how accurate were you? Did you know there would be a King of Pentacles, a Six of Cups, a Seven of Swords, the World, a Three of Swords, a Nine of Wands, and Temperance? I don't get the sense that anyone like got that right. But what I want to know is, did you jot down what I got in addition to what you thought? And if you are someone that actually knows what this means, what's your interpretation of what I just pulled? And specifically for you, compared to especially what the interpretation is of what you thought was coming out. Sort of a compare and contrast. And the reason why I am encouraging that is just because the only concern that I have for something like tarot is when you kind of give it your power. I don't like the word power, but when you turn to it as the answer, as your answer, as any sort of answer. And I'm not saying that people encourage that, but especially when things are frantic and feel kind of hopeless, or you're going through an awakening and you're losing what feels like all of your foundations, you turn to stuff. You turn to these proxies. Oh, you okay? You turn to proxies. Any proxies. Could be other people, could be other things, could be the things that we're addicted to, right? Like, you turn to the thing that will stabilize you. And as helpful as it can be to turn to sort of what's going on, what you pull when you pull from this is where you currently are, or more specifically, where your intention of thought and focus is sort of heading. It comes out in ways that are very like, I knew it. When you're tuned in, and when this is a thing that you can interpret in a way that makes sense to you. So you do have the depth of knowledge. You do have the experience with it. It is something that is a more core part of deeply held belief system stuff. And when it's not, when you're much more in the skeptical side of things, much more mental, much more what comes out of your tarot deck is different, actually. Because there's just an element of that quantum entanglement, of predictiveness of what's coming in. And when you're more heart-centered, what comes out is what comes out. And you see it and you're like, it doesn't matter because I already know all of this enough anyway. But if you're just learning it, and if you're a high anxiety person, and if you're a person who's really just if skeptical is just in your nature, it very much is in mine, this stuff doesn't work as well for you. It doesn't flow. It doesn't flow the same way. You have to get creative with it. You have to do other things with it. Because I didn't even start really liking tarot until this deck came into my life. And even then, I have to talk to AI. I have to talk to Claude or to Chad, just to kind of have a back and forth with it, because I'm like, okay, so I know that this kind of this, I know this is kind of this, but I get very mental with it. I don't start here because these are not really a proxy for me in that way. Some of us just have different capacities in things, and just because it seems like tarot and oracles and crystals and just other proxy items, it kind of does sometimes feel like, well, if I'm going to be going through a lot of these things, I need to know all of it, right? I need to be good at all of it. I need to be capable of all of it, because there's still like the hustle culture of do all the things, right? And when you combine that with an urge to YouTubeify yourself, you then get into this ecosystem internally where YouTubers are your coworkers. That's how I watch YouTube now, because I'm doing YouTube content. I've been doing YouTube content since like 2015, actually, but I'm a failed YouTuber. Trying to do this now is sort of a like, hey, here's what I can do. Please hire me and support me on Patreon. I have a couple of different things that I'm trying to really do right now. And I think that a lot of us that are going through spiritual awakenings have a very similar, maybe not trajectory, but we're all on that particular ride of, okay, still kind of a millennial or a Gen X, and still just kind of, life is so hard. I just want a career that makes me feel like I'm not always drowning, you know? And then you get into this and you're like, wow, not only am I really like skilled at this, but I love it. It's fun and it does help. It helps me. I know that it helps the person that I talk to. Anyway, this was just my big long ranty way of saying I have my own product too. Because in making my video game, which is what I don't want to be like I came back from the other side to make this video game, but also I kind of did. Like, I didn't want to come back unless there was going to be some sort of nerdy payoff. I really didn't. That was one conversation. I genuinely remember that conversation because it was like, yeah, but life is still awful. Like even then, even when everything was coming out, it was like, I was just trying to start getting our life back on track. We literally just moved to Connecticut because it was like, okay, we'll just calm down our life a little bit. We'll just settle down. We'll do the thing again, but this time we'll do it right. Buy a house, but Connecticut had other plans. And as I've been kind of tossed into this life of being able to have capacities to intuit and read and channel without much guidance beyond what's on my screen, yeah, it's been really complicated and really, you grab for a lot of things. You grab for a lot of things that will stabilize you and make you feel like something makes sense. And for those of you who changed religious things into like, I follow self-help or psychology or something like that, something like a proxy tool like tarot or an oracle deck is extremely helpful because you get a level of contrast. You get a level of something that's not just inside of my head, is at least providing information, some type of information. And maybe it's completely on point and like everything you pull out, like, wow, I really can't believe that tarot actually lines up with what I'm experiencing. Or it very much might be a case where what's being pulled out is something that you are avoiding thinking about, or something that you are not really feeling up for tackling because you know how much it's going to hurt, and you know how much it's going to take out of you, and you know how much it's going to show you that like monster side of yourself that you keep telling yourself isn't there because you don't want to deal with it and befriend it and anything. Anyway, Mabel, what you doing? Sorry, I hear her like doing I'm jumping up onto a thing to get something I shouldn't. Okay. So what I did actually was I made my own oracle deck and card game. And I made this because our video game is not coming out for a couple of years and we're still in the process of making it, and it's still technically a side job for both of us. My husband and I are making the game. And I'm trying to learn how to program a little bit so that I can do some work, because he is our programmer and our artist. If we get more funds, obviously that will change. We'll actually get help. But yeah, so I wanted to get us, basically 3 years is a long time. It really is. When you're also just doing a bunch of other things and life just keeps knocking you for a loop. So breaking it down to manageable chunks is what I'm doing. We're taking a mini game idea for the larger game and just turning it into a game that we're making this year. But in order to make the game, I needed to make the game because it's a card game that you play with a person in the village with an NPC in the village who is an oracle reader, because the whole game really is, it's a game where you are playing as a system. Miriam is Bastion, Vigo, Cloak, and Alara, and you play you play as Miriam, making the decisions that you want to make that impact who it is that you are playing as. There's a switching system. There are things to discover that I'm not going to talk about publicly because I want them to be fun, like Easter egg things. You play with 3 other characters. They're NPCs, you don't play as them. You're all adventurers on an island, tasked with, well, you could say scientific research, but really it's like policing. That's what it's evolved into. But it's the kind of gameplay where it's a little bit choose your own adventure. It's a little bit how you play absolutely has impacts on the continued gameplay of things, and you make choices as far as who you want to come with you into battle, and you don't have to fight anything. You might have to watch fight scenes, but you engage in battle with anything. Because I just wanted to make a cozy game that you could play without ever having to do like the fighting stuff or anything else, but that also definitely exists. Might be a little ambitious, to be completely honest, but it's okay. It's fine. And I'm telling you about that on here just because that's going to be going on its own YouTube channel that will go through the Patreon, patreon.com/Miriam's Quest. It'll be in the description. But this card game, if you sign up for the Patreon, it's free. It is a PDF that you print. I recommend getting it printed on cardstock. Staples does it. It's easy. I broke my printer trying to print on cardstock, so I don't really recommend it. But what they are oracle cards that you also play as a game. So you can pull them out as oracle cards. They do have all of the information on the card, a little bit like a Pokemon card. And I did that because for me, I can't remember stuff. Like my memory since dying, but really since like doing the whole channeling, integrate, like just my brain's been through a lot, my body's been through a lot. I can't memorize things like I could at one point in time. And that shows up in these cards, and it shows up in these sorts of things. And what I really love about this game is I made different things for it. So you can pull it as an oracle deck. So you can just pull it out and you can shuffle. There we go. It's hard to channel and do words at the same time. You can shuffle and just pull them out, and then you have what you really have are like for this, I pulled out Diamond, and it's a diamond red panda, Tiger's Eye, tiger, and Chrysocolla whale. And the words on these are like invincibility, willpower, capability. And what I'm talking about right now is my game. I'm talking about the game and the business and like the things that I'm doing. And I can just use these as oracle cards, where what I really focus on is what I focus on. Is I pay attention to where am I drawn today. When I'm pulling these cards out, what is it that grabs my eye? Because there's a lot of words, there's images and pictures. The pictures that are on here, I did, it took me a long time, but I did use the AI in Canva to make them. It's why I actually really love playing with AI tools and making what feels like a prototype deck with them, because it gets a lot of those ideas out for those of us that are not capable of doing visuals. But this is like, we're going to have a final game at the end of the year that's all symbols, and is the drawings that my husband's going to do, because it's going to be in our game art. So this is a prototype deck that I needed to do so that I could translate it into code and how we get the game kind of functioning and sort of together. But you can play it as just pull oracle out, note where you're really drawn to, and then really and truly, I didn't include any sort of like, this is what the whale means, and this is what Chrysocolla means. And there are words that are associated with it that it's possible that they're not fully accurate to what some people know, but these were channeled out. I channeled out, like, okay, which words for this? Okay. Like I channeled out a lot of this. The only thing that I did not channel right, but I got Claude to write, were the descriptive things. So like the vigilant raven amplifies black tourmaline's protective shield, warding off negative energy. Trust your instinct, guard what matters most, right? And that was after I gave Claude, like, okay, here's everything I've done. Here's everything that's going on. I need a little bit of flavor text. And honestly, I am exhausted because this is a prototype deck, right? Like this is all just, this is the thing that you create on the way to creating something more. And I think that a lot of us get, especially lately, we get kind of stuck in this belief that the big thing that we can feel and that is here and feels like our future anchor pointed thing in the new earth, where we know it's here, we want to yank it in, and we want to like yank it in right now, and we forget that there's like a process to all of this stuff, right? Like there's a process for a reason, and there's a slowing down for a reason. So this is me going through my process of creating a video game in bits and pieces that are a little nonlinear, and end up kind of making just fun stuff along the way, because you can play this as a game where you are attempting to create resonances of 3, 5, or 7 cards based on, do you have all of the elements in here? Do you have all of the chakras in here? These energies, I have passive, active, neutral, the intensity, I have high, medium, and low, time frame, past, present, timeless, future. Like there are a number of, there's synergies, certain cards work well together, conflict, certain cards do not. That's just for gameplay. Right? It's for gameplay mechanics, as far as I want to play this as a game and not as an Oracle deck. But it really is designed to be the kind of thing that someone who really loves words, and at least this round, the next one, again, it'll be symbols. It won't be a bunch of words on a card. But if words are kind of one of your art forms, if you're a writer, if you're a reader, if you're someone that just really does have words speak to me and words mean something, you'll know that words are a love language if you're like me and you have to turn comments off, or you have to turn off notifications for things because of just how many days you will spin out about a cruel comment. It'll just keep popping back up. And it's because someone hurt you with what you love. And it's normal and it happens, and you have to, like, you're on the internet, so things are going to be the way that they are. But this is just an interesting game that I wanted to show people, because I had a lot of fun making it. It's what I did with basically my August, really, in terms of like, I'm trying to do a job here. I'm trying to be a co-founder, an unpaid co-founder. And what I made, I'm impressed by, and I think other people might enjoy. You can also play against someone. And I feel like that's where creativity can actually play into this for anyone who wants to get free if you are on the Patreon. I also have it on my website. It's a download. I think did I put it like $1.11? I don't know. I like angel numbers, so it's like why I put them on everything. But it's fun. And honestly, the fact that you have to cut it out yourself, because you have to go, it's like a little adventure. Like you got to go get it printed, or you got to print it yourself, and then you got to cut it out. And there's a lot of cards. So like by the time you're done with it, you're like, whoa, that was a project. And yeah, it was a project. Now you've put yourself into the Oracle deck. You've put your time and effort and blood, sweat, and tears possibly into the creation of an Oracle deck that you didn't have to do more than purchase. And I'm really curious if you're a person who has purchased Oracle decks in the past that don't really resonate. They just, like, something about just the, like, when it's all images, maybe you don't see it as clearly as it seems to come across to others. And it's just, it really is. It's an Oracle deck end game for my brain. And for people who feel like they kind of identify with having a brain like this too, that's all over the place and scattered, and try as you might, man, them cards just they don't speak to you the way they seem to speak to other people, even though they do. And that's the cool part. Because when you have a resonance, when you get a resonance in whatever it is you're doing, I really do love using it as do the thing, like play the game, get your points, because it's all in the cards too. There's like the how-to is all just in the cards that come with the deck, for Oracle solo or dual playing. But what's really cool is when you're done, you've just tricked yourself into playing a very mental game right? So like the mind has been focusing on like, how do I score points? How do I do this? Like you get the competitive side going. And then when you're done, if you're not just treating it like oral deck, you're actually trying to like score points and you're actually trying to get something, you can analyze yourself and you can say, okay, I was heavily focused on energy and time frame this time. I didn't even notice what the animals were. I paid no attention to the crystals, like nothing. I was so heavily focused on energy and time frame. And then you can sit down with yourself and say, okay, why? Like why? And see what comes out. Have that meditation time with yourself. And I say meditation, active meditation, right? Like the kind of thing where you're taking what you just did and analyzing it from now a different perspective, where you're not being competitive. You're putting on your therapy hat, right? Your self-help hat. You're, okay, what was that about? Why was I so focused on that? Especially if when you're done, you're like, oh man, I missed this. I missed that I could have done an entire chakra pull. Huh, I didn't do that. I split it up into 3 different resonances that I did instead during this gameplay instead of this one big one. Why is that? And what's also really helpful is the game of the Oracle itself too, is you're pulling out 11 cards. I think it's 11, hold on, that's what I remember writing. See, you think I do this every day? I do not. Cards and 11 cards, yeah. Initially, and then there is like another draw round, and then you create the resonances that you see just for yourself. And again, it's the same thing. You're maybe not doing it competitively, but you're doing it to just see, if I just let my mind do what it needs to do while my body is sort of resting, because it's just you're just playing a game with yourself. I'm now giving myself a big breath where my mind is doing something and body's kind of doing something else. And then I'm merging them back together at the end for sort of a post-game recap. Treating my own card experience like it's the multidimensional experience it really is, with audience members, kind of, because you're your own audience member. If you're focusing on the game and you're pulling cards out, you're doing 2 different things at the same time, and you're only focused on one of them. So when you're done, you can play the tape back, kind of, and be like, okay, what was this really about? And I keep calling it like empowerment magic, because I might pull a number of cards, but just because that's kind of reflecting where I am now, it doesn't necessarily mean that all of those cards, it's sort of like I don't have to carry every single thing that comes out of my head. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to do something with everything that comes out, because I don't have to do something with everything that happens in here, right? Kind of the same thing with the cards, but no one really treats tarot or oracle like I can choose. It's like, oh no, this is just what they say. And it's like, fair, and I do agree. And some of us just have multiple programs running at all times. So maybe you're kind of pulling from one, line of programming, but where you're wanting to be pulling from is up here. And maybe in the moment you just can't get there, right? With something like this, you get a big collection of things, and then you're kind of making active choices, conscious choices, as far as what am I doing, and whether or not you want to be mindful and intentional about that and go, well, but this, I have 11 cards here. I really love this diamond. I really just want to start with this, and I want to build a resonance around it. Cool. Why? Later, right? Like, why was the diamond so important to you? Why did that really come out? And when you start asking yourself those questions as a channel, you're going to get answers. So anyway, that's my ad. I hope you enjoyed this level of parasocial experimentation and interactivity. Was it interactive for you? I'm not going to tell you, let me know in the comments, because I don't look at the comments, but I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you, if you're interested in Crystal Resonance, the Sacred Game, you can get it on my Patreon, patreon.com/MiriamsQuest. If you go to my website, soulharmonyconnection.com, you can find a link for it there too. But yeah, give it a try. Like, honestly, give it a try. If you're a person who really loves Oracle decks and really loves card games and really loves all this stuff, give it a try. And if you can't afford $1.11 plus tax probably, or the whatever, and you're just desperate for this kind of thing and you want it for free, I don't know, email me? Maybe don't. There's a level of like energetic exchange that should probably happen with stuff like this, just because I don't know, just because. But hey, maybe get a friend who's like, hey, did you buy that thing? Can you like send me the link to it? Because it's just a PDF. I don't care. Share it. Like, I made the thing because I needed it, and I put it online, and I put it online for a price just because. And I can't on my website put like free things on there because then you still have to put in your credit card when you pay, and I just didn't want to. So I never know how to end these videos. I'm just gonna end it and put it out, and just to let anyone who's still watching, hi, cool. This channel is a mishmash of things. Everything that goes out on here is, you could literally just call it an ad, because I am just trying to get money for my life through different channels. This is free, so through different avenues, if you feel so inclined. I also have a Ko-fi. I don't know. You can tip me if you feel so inclined. I'd appreciate it. But I did say in a video that I was going to be done with YouTube for September, and I love when the stubbornness inside of me is what lights my creative capacities open, because I actually went into just the eclipse, that blood moon eclipse energy, with just this fiery, you can't tell me what to do self. You can't tell me what to do past me, right? Not really, just a creative urge to create a lot of videos. So I recorded a lot of videos, a lot of documentation, experimentation things, and I scheduled them to release in October. One video at a time per week in October. I don't know if I'll do more of this then. I'm attempting to do a content creator thing without really having a long-term plan here. It's kind of a as I go, and I like doing process notes, hence why I'm doing this. Because if you're here by this point, you also seem to probably consider me a coworker too. You can ask coworkers of mine from the past. I'm not that different. This is how I came across in all meetings. Very long-winded and lots of things happening on screen. What am I trying to really impart here? Oh, yeah, what comes out in October is a manifestation experiment, actually. Might not be happening. Very likely not. Like, fully know that. But I channeled through what I channeled through just to literally document what this kind of experience has been like for me. And if anyone else is interested in doing a lazy YouTube, I know that's mean to call it that, but like, I'm not editing this. I know how to edit stuff. I used to have fun editing. I don't now. I'm too busy. I'm doing too many other things. But if you feel a somatic release, if you feel a central nervous system that comes when the video is recording you being yourself, I recommend doing it. And though, you don't have to say it to the camera, but I can say from personal experience that when you pick one person to talk to, it changes what you're channeling through, and it changes how you talk, and it changes like sort of the engagement that you're having with it. And I recommend playing around with that, with videos that you never post, that you never do anything with, that you just play with. And in different states. If you get drunk around people, record yourself channeling while drunk. See what happens. Just see what comes out of you and watch it later. Don't necessarily post it. If you do plant medicine, and same thing, because there is an element of, do you know who you are? And do you know who you're channeling? And do you get more information about that when you watch it back later? Especially if you're a trance channel and you know, eyes go closed and, you know, but you still feel that pull because you can still see yourself on a screen. Because maybe what you're seeing isn't a YouTube future. Maybe it's just I'm recording this for myself so that I can actually see and hear myself say some things to prove to myself that I am doing the trance channeling that I see other people do. It's really easy to see people on Alex Ferrari's podcast and think, God, they're so confident. They're so confident. Everything that comes out of them is so confident. But yeah, one reason for that is when you have a really, really good host, they open the door to confidence. And if you really just want to know how you'd fare in that kind of thing, Pretend you're talking to Alex. Pretend he's giving you an interview. Write down the questions that he would probably ask you. Watch his shows. Again, he's a coworker. If you're feeling the YouTube pull, he's now a coworker, right? He gives you process notes all the time. Just like a perfect encapsulation of like how to properly interview somebody. Interview yourself. Past self, write down the questions, whatever ones you think would probably come out of an interview like that. Write them down. Record yourself answering the questions. From past written self to current channel state self. And then watch your own video. Or see how it feels. Is being interviewed yours? Like, did that really feel correct for you? Or were you so wrapped up in the collective of this is what I take in because this is how I'm learning and this is what things are, that it's right for you? Because what I know is this. YouTube's been really, really nice and really helpful for my central nervous system. And I feel an end date. And it doesn't feel like it's very far from now. Not necessarily as I never post on YouTube again, but just sort of as a for the light language channel. This is a short burst situation. I know that. I feel that. It kind of scares me to know that because I get intrusive thoughts about why, right? But no, it's just because this is a bridge for me. Not a long-term thing, just a fun thing that I am doing right now, just like all the writing that I've done for my Substack. And there's a lot. I've been waiting for clients. When you're a person who is a workaholic and you're waiting for clients to show up for your new business that you give away free readings for, but then you stop the free readings because all of your guides were like, okay, you got to stop the free readings, make space. I made space. And then I wrote 2 books and like 120 Substack posts in like 3 months. Okay. That's how much creative backup I had. It just came flowing out of me. And thankfully, when I allow those big flows to kind of happen, like they're happening now with the videos I'm recording, they set you up for something else and something that you really are aligned with. I am aligned, I hope, for being seen because there are conventions I want to go to, and I want to talk to people about this game. I want the world to get excited about this game because it's gonna be good. I promise. I'm channel writing it out from the perspective of the characters in the game because I'm actually pulling something that you could argue is from a different dimension, but it's just a creative dimension, right? It's the same thing that everyone says when they're like, well, it just wrote itself, right? This game is creating itself through me, through my husband, through anyone else that we do pull on, keep, it really is. And I've already started making real world products for it. Like 2.5 years ahead of schedule. And it's just because I've been following what feels aligned and what feels right and what feels like my body says, good job. So do that. Record yourself if you feel the call of publicness about what's going on. Then watch it back and just slow down in what it is you're seeking and what you're trying to do, and stay curious about why, and stay curious about who it is that has something to say about it and why. Yeah, I'm giving the people what they want. Yeah. Mabel says that's my time. Thank you for watching. Woof. Agreed.